Hi Year 11 and welcome to your first lesson from Unit 2. So to begin with, we're going to start with Chapter 10, which is all about earning money. And exercise 10.01 is about wages and salaries. So you might hear these words when talking with parents or friends about how much money they make from their jobs. But there actually is a difference between wages and salaries, and it comes down to the way it's paid by the employer. So a wage is an amount paid for each hour worked. So a lot of you would be getting a wage. So you work 10 hours, you get paid for 10 hours. The next week you work for 2 hours, you get paid for 2 hours. Whereas a salary is a fixed amount per year that does not depend upon the number of hours worked. So for me, as a teacher, I get paid a salary. Most other professionals who are in full-time work also get paid a salary. So we're going to jump in with this example, and we're going to be looking at Christine's situation. So Christine earns $18.23 per hour working in a long day care centre. She works a 38-hour week. So we want to know how much she earns a fortnight. So the first thing we are going to do is, for A, we want to find out how much she makes a fortnight. You might want to use a highlighting method, which I'm going to show you here. So we know she makes the $18.23 an hour and she works 38 hours a week. This strategy might help you in an exam situation with your worded questions when you're not too sure what's being asked of you. So we're going to say amount per week. And the reason we're going to start off with this is we know how many hours she works per week. So we're going to take the 38 hours she works per week and multiply it by the $18.23 she makes per hour. And this gives us an answer of $692.74. Remembering though a fortnight is 2 weeks, so now we want to find the amount per fortnight. Now this one is pretty straightforward. All we're going to do is take her weekly amount of $692.74 and multiply it by 2. And that is going to give us $1,385.48. Now, because it is a worded question, we should then write a therefore statement. So therefore, Christine earns $1,385.48 per fortnight. Alright, you might want to just pause this video right now so that you're able to get this copied down before we move on to the second part. Alright, so for part B, what we're being asked is calculate the amount she earns per year. Now, we could do this 2 different ways. We've got here her weekly pay and her fortnightly pay. Now, you've got to be careful when you're doing this, that we know that, say, there's 52 weeks in a year or 26 fortnights, there's 12 months. But sometimes those conversions can get a little tricky, and we'll look at that a little bit later on. But just be careful of what's being asked from you and what information you've already got. For this case, I'm just going to use my weekly, which is this one here. So I'm going to say amount per year. It's going to equal our weekly amount of $692.74, and there's 52 weeks in a year, so we're going to multiply by 52. This is going to give us $36,022.48. Now that we've got that, what we want to do is, again, write a therefore statement. So therefore, Christine earns $36,022.48 per fortnight. And that's it for that first question. So if we scroll down a little bit, we're going to go on to example 2. And we're looking at Madeline. So she's a social worker, and her annual salary is $59,000. So again, you might want to grab your highlighter and go, annual salary is $59,000. Remember that annual means yearly. So from this, we want to first find her monthly pay. So we know there is 12 months in a year. So to find her monthly pay, we're going to take her $59,000 that she earns as her salary, and we're going to divide it by 12. Now, in the real world, we pay super and we pay tax, and we are going to look at this a bit later on, but it's really important to remember that, yes, we're finding out her monthly pay at the moment, but it's before tax. So once we do this, it is going to be $4,916.67. Now, if we scroll back up, we can see that we've got this worded question, but then A and B are completely worded questions themselves. When we look at example 2, because we've got this little here, we don't really need to write a therefore statement. Yes, it is a worded question to begin with, but it carries on part A, part B, and sometimes there can be way more parts than that. So you can just leave it as the $4,916.67. Part B, we're going to do our fortnightly pay. Whoops. So fortnightly pay. It's going to equal the $59,000 salary that she earns, and now we're going to divide it by 26 because there's 26 fortnights in a year. When we put this into our calculator, that is $2,269.23. Now, just so we're clear before we go into this exercise, 1 year. It is equal to 12 months. It's also equal to 52 weeks. Or 26 fortnights. A big misconception that happens is 1 month is not 4 weeks. So 1 month does not equal 4 weeks. So if we know that, for example, 1 week is 7 days, 7 times 4 equals 28. The only month that has 28 days is February. So we just need to be careful when doing this. We don't want to make mistakes. Another one that can also come from this is if you go, well, 1 month equals 4 weeks, 12 times 4 equals 48. So 1 year does not equal 48 months. So from this logic, if you go, well, there's 12 months and I'm going to multiply it by 4 weeks, that's going to equal 48. Nope, that's wrong. Don't do that. Alrighty, that's all the examples for this one. Have a go at some of the questions in exercise 10.01 and let me know if you're having any trouble.